was just another routine day on C1. Anxiety turned into outright fear. I came to the conclusion that I was going to die. I said to myself, if I'm going to die, I'm going to make sure I take those two bastards with me.
Friday, April 11th, 1986 started out like any other day for Miami federal agent Ed Morales. Little did he know that his day would end with 2 bullets lodged in his body, and with the choice to lay back and die or take action.
It's always been my attitude that if something was going to happen, I wanted it to happen to me and not some person on the street. I'm the trained professional. I'm the one that should be in front to protect people. The morning was a clear, crisp April morning in Miami, Florida. If you can imagine, Miami in the mid-'80s was in the ending stages of the cocaine wars down there. So there was a lot of criminal activity going on in Miami at the time. We had been scheduled to participate in surveillance that morning in South Miami, so I was anxious to get to the office, the C1 bank robbery squad. The case concerning Platinum addicts. These 2 individuals had started robbing banks in October 1985. These guys were evil, vicious men. A bad guy can rob a person without necessarily hurting them or shooting them. And these guys seemed to enjoy shooting unsuspecting armored truck cars for no reason at all. I don't want to sound cavalier because the type of work we do is dangerous work, but it was just another routine day on C1.
Morales, talk to him. All right, you got it right back here. Thank you. You said?
The only reason we were out there that morning was because Gordon McNeil took an educated guess based on his intuition and his knowledge of the case.
It's Friday. They usually do the robberies on Friday.
We had a description of a stolen Monte Carlo, and we knew we were looking for 2 white males. That was about all the information we had.
Armed and dangerous, Ranger trained. Keep your heads up. Let's go get them.
My attitude that morning was prepare, 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 because in the end, nothing was going to happen. Boy, was I wrong that morning. When we got to the bank, John, we found the most logical place to sit and surveil the bank without being too obvious. So we started a stakeout of 4 separate locations along US 1. I could go out on surveillance 99 times out of 100, and nothing would happen. It's that 100th time that gets you, and this was that 100th time.
If they make a run for it, try to cut them off.
Suddenly, Ben Grogan called out on the radio words that I'll never forget.
All units have a visual and in pursuit of blue Monte Carlo license plate NTJ891. All available cars 136 Dixie Highway.
My blood pressure went up, my heart rate went up, I started to sweat. This was happening right now. I couldn't believe these guys were out in the stolen car. Either they were very, very stupid or very bold. The intensity at that point was so great that I could almost taste it. At 81st Avenue, they turned right. At that point, it was subject car with the 3 FBI cars behind them. These guys weren't stupid. They knew they were being followed. We were in a position where we were going to have to force them into total compliance. In a very dangerous move, Ben Grogan pulled up from behind them and got in front of them. We were going about 35 miles an hour, and my heartbeat was revving with the RPM. Things got more intense as John Hanlon pulled up beside them and rammed the car. Metal grinding on metal. When I looked to the right, I saw the driver of the Monte Carlo. He was so close I could touch him. The car was slamming. The shotgun is unwieldy. In the confined space of the car, I could not bring it up and point at the driver. I didn't even see it, but just then, the passenger pointed his rifle at my head. Thank God for Richard Manaldi. He floored his car, slamming us from behind, causing them to spin out. As soon as we crashed, gunfire broke out. The gunfire was so intense that it seemed like there were 20 guys there shooting. Bullets were flying everywhere. Things happened so fast, I didn't have a chance to put my body armor on. Anxiety turned into outright fear. I needed better cover. I ran across the street into the gunfire. One moment I'm moving forward, and the next moment I'm flat on my back. I looked up and I saw the blue sky and fluffy white clouds. I tried to get back up using my left arm, but for some reason it wasn't working. It was at that moment that I realized that I had been shot. I was running across the street when a bullet smashed into my left arm. I don't remember pain. I don't remember hearing anything. Suddenly my arm was just completely ruined. It looked like a roadkill. I'm down, I'm wounded, and the gunfight is still going on. There's no doubt that it took a great deal of energy to keep the terror under control, because at this point I was very fearful for my life. I had a loud ringing in my ears. The only thing I could hear was the gunshots, but it seemed like they were 2 blocks away. They were that muffled. While I was down, the rest of the team was trying to take care of the suspects. Even though we had more agents on the scene, they had an assault rifle. That evened the odds. We weren't making any headway at that point. I started scanning the scene, trying to see where the subjects were so I could get a better position. And then I saw blood squirting from the left side of my head. Then I realized that I'd been shot in the head. I felt my body giving up. I felt myself bleeding to death. Then I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna die. The scene was carnage, but the suspects were still mobile. I was trying to stay alert to continue to fight until it was truly over. The one emotion I had felt was a sense of survival. You know, there is nothing that can prepare you to see a fellow officer get wounded or killed. The anger at seeing my fellow officers down was building and building. When I saw them trying to escape in the FBI car, I looked at them and something in me snapped. I came to the conclusion that I was going to die. And all the sensation of fear that I had disappeared. I said to myself, if I'm going to die, I'm going to make sure I take those 2 bastards with me. I fired every single shell in that shotgun until it was empty. Then I stood up, pulled out my revolver, and started firing at the suspect. I had survived. If there was one thing that I would have done different is when we were bumper locked, I would have tried harder to bring the shotgun up to aim at the subjects. The gunfight would have come out completely different. If I had managed to get the shotgun up and actually had fired it There's no doubt in my mind that Ben and Jerry would be alive today. But I could not. Do I feel lucky? Absolutely. I could have been killed 7 or 8 different times, and I survived. I'm just glad I lived to tell my story.